This time we'll call to order the Board of Public Works. This is September 8th, 2025. Betty, roll please.
Mayor Boyd.
I'm here.
Alderperson Carpenter.
Here.
Alderperson Ashkan.
Here.
Alderperson Hanson.
Here.
Alderperson Lebna.
Here.
All here. Up next, public comment on matters not on the agenda. Comments made during the public comment period shall pertain only to matters under the jurisdiction of Board of Public Works. I'm going to take one shot at this because there's no one in person. So virtually, is there anyone out there that'd like to speak right now and make a public comment on matters not on the agenda? If so, just state your name. And there really is no one out there. There's really nobody here, so I'm going to stop it right there. Let's go to items. Item 1, approval of the August 11th, 2025 Board of Public Works meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Carpenter, seconded by Alderperson Esserkan. Discussion, comments? We have none. That said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Up next, item 2, consideration and possible action on Wisconsin Department of Transportation, DOT revised municipal agreement for State Highway 32. Scott.
So what you have in your packet tonight is actually the third revision for the state municipal financial agreement for the Main Avenue, Reed Avenue project from 3rd to 8th. Basically, the proposed improvements is, pavement replacement and pavement preservation. The estimated cost for the project has increased from last revision from $11,618,880 to $16 million overall cost. Right now, the city's estimated cost sharing for design and construction is at $2,911,927,000. I did break it down in bullet points because it is tough to read going through that document, and I'll go through real quick and highlight it. The agreement has the design, which is at $625,000. We've been actually funding that the last couple of years, paying as we get billed. We have a railroad shared path cross improvement. If you recall, when we brought forward to the board, we're looking at that railroad line right off of Reed Street, making improvements there for safety improvements. That's at an amount of $130,000. The parking lanes, all the parking lanes as part of the project is 100% the city. That's typically what is done in the past for all types of projects. So that's valued at $425,000. The concrete sidewalk and terraces at $207,000. What that is with this type of project they got going on. Typically in the past they've gone right away to right away. What they're doing now is just basically doing the curb to curb and behind the curb. So some terraces, they will have some spot repair for curbs at the handicap ramps. But everything else we've actually wanted replaced, so that actually goes right to the building line. So that comes out to $207,000. The next big one, I'm sure there'll be some discussion after I go through this, is the slope improvements on Main Avenue, the railroad bridge. As you recall, we quit mowing the grass there, and we haven't done any maintenance and occasional mowing. So right now they have an estimated cost of $506,000. So what this is really taking all the vegetation out of there and actually just putting a concrete cap. Plain concrete cap, not stamped or anything. It will look just like, I don't have any examples to show you. Smooth concrete from the top of that existing retaining wall up to the top side of the sidewalk. If we wanted to have that stamped or even colored, according to the DOT, we add another $250,000. Now, the prices could go down if we choose to. One of the things is just restore some type of natural prairie grass. There, it would be under the $500,000. If we really want to get extravagant and start doing some really, step walls and that sort of thing, you can start adding another $1 million on top of that. We can come back to that because I'm sure there's some questions, comments on the slope improvements. The storm laterals, that's typically 100% the municipality. What that is from a storm sewer, all our projects, as you recall, we actually stub out for storm sewer laterals. That's at $46,000. Utility adjustments, what that is, we have our existing sanitary manholes as well as water valves and that sort of thing. That utility adjustments at $35,000. They have slated in the agreement hazard material cleanup. Because it's a connecting highway, there could be some contamination in the ground as we dig up the various projects. Example, there's some hits throughout the project. Typically, You may see them, by old gas stations, actually the dry cleaner, that sort of thing. So if there's any materials that's discovered during the construction project, and we have to haul it off, that's the cost that we would have to pay. Right now, they're estimated at $126,000. The street lighting, our share of the street lighting, for all the street lighting being replaced, including the high illuminators as well as the decorative street lighting, that's $571,000. Then we got what we call community sensitive solutions. This is the streetscape stuff. So there is some cost sharing. The DOT is actually picking up. That streetscaping is your colored concrete that's stamped, other amenities, that sort of thing. Right now, our share is $220,927. And then part of the shared use path is we have to do some, if you recall, the sidewalk is going to be up on top, not on the bottom by the bridge. There's some realignment we have to do with that sidewalk coming into railroad. So that's actually a cost about $20,000. So all those bullet points being said is, it's estimated total cost of $2,911,927. We would recommend, the board approve this for the council for approval.
All right, I'm sure we'll have some discussion. I'll make one mention. I know Alderperson Hanson brings this up, and I think we all do as well. And that would be the train crossing on Reed and Main. The assumption is they're going to do better on this one, have that rubberized surface. Do you know about that at all, Scott? Or
the improvements for Reed and Main, I don't know what they're going to be building that to improve the spur lines, but there's both spur lines across Main as well as Reed are going to be redone. I can't tell you what it is exactly what it's going to be.
I mean, we all kind of hope it'll be at that time that they put in whatever's the best surface.
Yep.
Eric, do you have anything on that?
No, I don't. They're at a 60% design right now, so
Okay.
they haven't gone through. I think some of that'll come through when we get to the 90% design.
Okay, and then we'll see that and take some kicks
Yeah.
at that and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
If I could just add, those spur lines on Reed and Main, that's 100% the state and federal for those
Okay.
improvements.
Then we'll try to get whatever we can then.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Got to be more cost effective than what happens right now. I got to figure. Comments? Anybody here? Alderperson Carpenter.
So if you go with that concrete slope, is that a 4 inches concrete, 6 inches?
4 inches. There's no traffic on it. It'd be 4 inches.
So then they make a base underneath it, so it ain't gonna be all cracked? I'm just,
I
guess-
mean, there won't be much of a base. Maybe just, like we would typically do on our sidewalks, we put 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches of gravel because you got, traffic and other things on it. This is just to cap it.
and I understand, and we all got not everybody has a concrete driver, but most people have a concrete driver, find weeds growing through them and everything else. So that's why I was just curious, is it gonna be all cut, you know what I mean? Like you would your every so many feet? Or you-
Joints, you mean?
Joints,
It'll
put
be
joints
every
in
joint,
and
right.
everything else, so then.
Oh, so it's not it's not one complete.
smooth, no.
Not
No,
continuous. It'll be
and that's, I'm
lines.
just saying, so when you add joints and everything else, you always get weeds.
You're
and
gonna get weeds, correct?
I assume they may put, I know it's too early in the phase, so if they put something underneath that, the concrete,
But even if you
mat, some type of
The
barrier.
liner like we put in our gardens.
So I mean, it's a mat, like you're talking weed mat that goes in a lot of your planters and stuff. The unfortunate thing is
On a slope.
lot of the weed seed you're gonna get is actually it'll be on top of that. So those grooves, those joints will spread a little bit. You're gonna get dirt and stuff and seed that come in.
Yep.
And you can put all the membrane, anything you want underneath it. You're still gonna get weeds through the joints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
just trying to consider, a lot of people won't be around when it all starts happening as to management that's here, but.
And us, hopefully.
Who's it's gonna be safe enough that we got people that are gonna be able to go and then get the weeds or what out of there and everything else, because you spend the money and all of a sudden you got weeds growing up around in it and getting a foot tall, 2 feet tall.
So one of the things Eric and I talked about, if you actually go and actually, I apologize, we put the photo up. The new detention pond that's off of Front Street, that is all prairie grass that planted. That first year didn't come up, and it's really, if you go down there now, because they're telling me about it, it's like, you see the flowers and different
Really?
things like that.
Beautiful.
Is it?
Yep.
Beautiful.
So, it's, one of the things you can look at, since this whole thing went down and we quit cutting it, we do our street team tries to get as much as we can when it gets long.
Yes.
That's the type of grass is there. You can really look at, if you don't want to spend the money and want to decrease the cost, you could probably look at the DOT coming up with a design where, they take the existing turf, maybe work in and then put just some type of prairie grass. It'll be longer, but not as tall as the stuff you got. The unfortunate thing is you're still going to get weeds and seed and that sort of thing may get in there. So, I mean, it really comes down to, what the board and council wants to do as far as low maintenance. You're always going to have some type of a maintenance on that slope, whether it's longer term down the road type of a thing with the slopes, or we try to do a low mow prairie grass where you have minimal maintenance. I don't know, Eric, you got anything? I mean, because you got what you did with the pond came out really nice.
Yeah, no, and we can always bring pictures back and talk about that in the future.
In the
too.
future with the design?
Yeah, because as
should-
Scott mentioned, it really did turn out nice. I know there was a couple concerns after the first year that we were going to provide flowers and they didn't come up. But, it just took a year for everything to get established, but it looks real nice right now. But like Scott said, you'd have to periodically, if you get weeds and things, you might have to periodically touch it up or periodically go in and redo it. But, if you look at the pond right now, it's really taken over and it's really thick. So it'll last for a while, I believe. But
I mean, yes, you get them flowers and everything. That does look nice. I mean, it might even look nicer than concrete, I guess. So
Be nice
I mean,
to
this is
look
just
at it.
what you have here. We're just approving something as of to keep moving forward. This is not set in stone. I mean, this is kind of set in stone to some degree.
Set in concrete.
Not setting concrete.
Yeah, set in concrete.
So yeah, we can bring stuff back when we get closer with the design.
Well, I'm
Well-
gonna say they're not going to want to change the design once they get rolling.
Scott or Eric?
Well, what we'll do is we'll talk to the DOT. I can't imagine we want to spend much more than $500,000. We can tell them what will it take, what the cost and what we can do for prairie grass, that sort of thing. Bring back that for further discussion. They put this in as a kind of a slot, knowing we approached them a couple of years ago to
Sure.
do something on these slopes. And, I mean, like I said, they showed us some stuff that are really high end. It probably costs a couple $1 million versus, okay, well, we'll throw in a plug number. And really, if you cap it, if you go on some bridges in the rural areas, you'll see a concrete cap underneath the entire bridge, the slope coming down. And basically, that's kind of a paver slope, prevent erosion and have minimal maintenance. I wish I would have had pictures I could show you, but it's all it is. Imagine a slab of concrete from one end of 7th Street all the way down to a place where we can mow both sides of the bridge, just a gray concrete. And if you want to stamp that or color it, then you add probably another $250,000 to that.
So when this comes back to
I agree.
when it comes back to Common Council, can you have any pictures or something? Can you come up with some a little bit more?
Yes.
I mean,
By-
I
just,
actually
Tuesday?
had some. I had some idea things at the last minute that came today. It's like, ugh. So I mean, I can try to
Great.
get something.
you know what I mean?
next
Just
week.
bring that to the council.
That'd be great. Yeah, totally agree. Did you have any more, Alderperson Carpenter? No, you can't
So
say
this,
more.
does this have anything to do with water then, or is that a whole nother cost?
That's Eric is bidding that previous year, 27 to do mostly water and a little bit of sewer work on the Reed Main
So I mean, just so the people know, this $3 million
Strictly
here
Road.
is just the road and stuff. It's not all the other stuff.
One of the interesting things I put in my memo, and it just happened. Like I always wanted to see the percentages. My career, last 25 plus years working with the DOT, there's always a cost sharing in these types of projects, about an 80-20. This type of project where you're looking here, you might as well say it's a recon building face to building face or right away to right away. You're roughly 82% DOT and 18% off. So I mean, as it's shaking out, the DOT is putting a lot of money into our downtown.
So this is still, I know we had a representative in DePere. So there's still some talk about that underpass. I mean, as to moving forward and some cost sharing maybe of some type.
Yeah, there is. Again, it's very expensive. Last number we got was 30 million plus probably now, I imagine. But yes, there is. So what Alderperson Carpenter's referring to, if people are listening or whatever, was the secretary of the DOT was in town with Senator Wall brought her there, and Brown County.
National aid.
And yeah, a deputy was there as well, and then Brown County was there as well too. So we basically just laid out why it was not a good area and probably could deserve some improvements, like converting it to 4-lane. So
And
hopefully,
It was kind of interesting, if I could add, we walked, we started at the east end, we walked under the bridge, and we came up by 7th Street. We're all sitting there kind of, the mayor's talking, everybody's explaining, and it just so happens, somebody tried to merge at the last minute, hit the curb, and I said, that's what we're
Bounced right
talking
up.
about.
Good time.
yeah, it was definitely an eye opener. Now clearly, we're grateful this is all happening. The DOT did their evaluation, and they determined that they can sign it better, stripe it better to give people more warning, but we just don't agree with that. Alderperson Carpenter.
And that's what I'm just trying to say. When this whole project gets done, if they don't widen that, I think the state's going to look like the biggest fool there
Yeah.
ever is, because it's a state road.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but if they could look back on projects, why would you bottleneck traffic coming right in?
we're hoping, and everyone from the DOT knows, Josh knows, they've all know.
I mean-
they evaluated, it's on them. But
So that's why I was just asking. I mean, even if the city had to come up with some cost sharing, just like this road was getting done, that isn't all ours, I guess I would be all in favor if the price was right.
I mean, if residents want to connect with the DOT or their state reps, feel free. Any of us, feel free. More the merrier. So,
Thank you.
yep, you're welcome. Alderperson Hanson.
So on that point, Scott, if we were to go 4 lanes, the slope improvements would probably change quite a bit, huh?
Correct.
All right, and then
Well, you may also see if the railroad bridge were to occur, the way it takes, just my experience right now working with Southbridge on GV15, it potentially could delay the project overall, maybe to segment it out, that sort of thing, if they decide, yep, we're going to fund it, because, it's going to take probably 3 to 5 years to do something with that.
And for the record, we will follow up with the DOT
Yep.
and the representatives. So we're just giving a little bit of space.
yep.
Alderperson Hanson.
And then Scott, are we replacing all the street lights along that stretch, even like the tall ones? Because some of them with like the black metal poles, they don't seem to be that old.
They're going to get, actually, some of the poles, actually, they don't look that old, but they're deteriorating. Some are actually, I believe, being salvaged, like our light fixtures, for example, on a decorative, those would be salvaged. So, I mean, it's going through the evaluation process right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Alderperson Estercon.
Yeah, the big cement cap, every time you say it, it really depresses me. Because it just sounds, that's the entrance to the city, and it just feels like a weird, depressing thing to have that there. The last couple of years, without it being cut, the first year was a little rough, but then it actually kind of looked cool. I'm okay with it. But I would be in favor if we did end up doing a cement cap, which I'm not in favor of, but if we did, if we could consider a mural upon that, perhaps, pretty it up somehow as an entrance to the city.
Very
That
good.
said, I do think maybe the wild grass would be more.
Actually,
Yeah.
not a bad idea.
What's that?
If you had a smooth cap, because like the downtown's doing art,
You could do
you
it.
could look
Somehow,
at
really, like it would make the nice entrance to the city somehow.
That's great. Yeah, and I do think we should see what those native things look like too, or whatever they bring back. So, yep. Keep all our options open, everybody. Other questions or comments? I will make a motion to approve this agreement and forward to council for approval.
Second.
Motion by me, seconded by Alderperson Hanson. Again, as was stated, Scott will bring some stuff forward that we can see at council, which is good. All right. That said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3, consideration and possible action on quote for real estate services for State Highway 32.
Okay, so this piggybacks off of the discussion you just had with Scott regarding the State Highway 32 project. Because this is connecting highway, local municipalities are responsible for real estate appraisal and right-of-way acquisition. The plat's created by, the right-of-way plat, what we need is created by the DOT's consultant. However, we are responsible to hire somebody to acquire the right-of-way, and that's what this item is for. We do get reimbursed, and I included in your packet, right now there's an estimate of $430,000 for services to acquire and the consulting fees. But we, regardless of what it is, we do get reimbursed for it. So we sent out proposals to 3 different firms. We received proposals back from 2 of them, Core and MSA, and we provided you a summary in your packet. Now, with this, we are really just approving the quote, not the amount, because we have no idea how long appraisals are going to take, what the challenges are going to be with the people, whether they want, how much, negotiations there are. So the number they provided in there is really just an estimate. But when we compared the 2 consultants, we took a look at what their rates were. We took a look at what their hour allocation was. We talked to the DOT about what they anticipated the hour allocation being, and it made sense, in our opinion, to award it to Core. So staff is recommending we award the agreement to Core.
Very good, thank you. For discussion purposes, I'll make a motion to approve awarding the professional services agreement to Core.
I'll second it.
Motion by me, seconded by Alderperson Carpenter. Additional discussion or comments? Again, this is pretty straightforward stuff, so all good. That said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4, consideration and possible action on amending Chapter 82 of the Pere Municipal Code regarding solid waste. Tony.
Okay, good evening, thanks. So this relates to currently in Chapter 82 of our municipal code, we do have a limit to 4 times a year that a residence or property can purchase overflow collection tags. Currently, our staff doesn't have a means of tracking that, and we're noticing that the majority of these locations are coming from multifamily units such as duplexes that are only allowed 1 garbage and 1 recycling aside, whereas a normal residential home could have up to 3 carts, 2 garbage and recycling, or 2 recycling and 1 garbage. At this time, we have only a few places taking part in this, and we're recommending that we can amend this ordinance and remove the number of times an individual can utilize the service. They are paying for it, so there is an additional cost that they're taking on in order to receive this. So at this time, we're just requesting that we can amend Chapter 82 in the segment relating to the number of times overflow can be utilized in a year.
Thank you. So we come out okay in all this, is what Tony's saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, they are paying. Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Motion by Alderperson Levin, seconded by me, to remove the limit on overflow tag use. Discussion. Alderperson Carpenter.
Could you tell me what the tag per tag costs right now then?
Did you hear that, Tony?
Currently $3. I'm sorry, $3 for 2 tags, or $3 for 2 bags of garbage, I believe. Is that correct, Betty?
That is correct. The tags are $3 each, and each tag covers 2 additional bags of garbage, 13-gallon size, or containers for recycling.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? All right, seeing we have no more, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Is he done? Thanks, Tony. Item 5, consideration and possible action regarding intergovernmental cooperative agreement for the Wisconsin Recycling Consolidation Grant for 2026.
So what you have before you is the county's requesting us have another intergovernmental agreement. There's a resolution that they're spelling out. You may recall 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago, it was a standard resolution, basically allowed the responsible unit cooperative agreement between all the municipalities in Brown County. Basically, the county would submit that on our behalf. It's actually tied to a recycling grant application that we do annually this time of year. Actually, it's due October 1st. So on this one, it's timely as an essence. Our city attorney reviewed it because some of the language changed in the resolution, felt it needed to come back to the board and council for approval. So what you have before you is staff's recommending approving this agreement and forwarding to council for final approval.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Hanson, seconded by Alderperson Ledman. Discussion or comments? All right, we have none. That said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, consideration and possible action on award of contract 2511, redevelopment street and utility construction. Eric?
Yes. So this project involves two of the more exciting things going on right now. First, it is the utility and street construction for Williams and Wisconsin associated with the two developments in the former Shopko site. And then the second part of the development is relocating utilities for the Phoenix of De Pere Phase 1. So we did have 5 bids. The low was Crew Check in the amount of $1,445,555.55. And we are recommending award to them. And just from a timing standpoint, the utility work is going to occur this fall yet, but the street construction will not occur until early summer, late spring, early summer, to accommodate the scheduling and the construction of the buildings.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so the apartment should be done next summer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we're
That's
kind of
cool.
fitting everything between when the mixed-use apartments will be done, mixed-use building, and when the hotel will be done. The hotel's a little bit later, but also next year.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments? Alderperson Carpenter.
So is this a whole total relay of sewer, water, and everything from George Street to whatever?
Yes, we're putting in new water main on Wisconsin. We're adding water main on the section of Williams that didn't exist before. We're adding in storm sewer, and there is not a lot of sanitary work because they're tying into the existing side streets.
Okay, thank you.
Scott.
The water main is actually James to the north, correct?
I'm sorry. Yeah, the water main, the project's limits are from, so it's Wisconsin from James to Williams and Williams from Wisconsin to Michigan. Those 2 blocks.
Thank
Very
you.
good, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve and accept the bid from Kuchek Construction.
Second.
Motion by me, seconded by Alderperson Carpenter. This is very exciting, by the way. Additional discussion or comments? That said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7, consideration and possible action on city engineer parking and traffic recommendations. Eric?
Okay, so I will start going through, and if there's any questions, are you going to act on them at the end, or how do you want to do it?
We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
You can just go ahead, and if someone wants to interject, feel free. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Guys and gals?
So the first item is to consider a bus drop-off area on Lewis Street at the Mulva Center. If you recall, they paid for a bus drop-off on Lewis Street. However, our current parking restrictions in the ordinance aren't really set up for a bus drop-off. So we discussed it at staff in the parking and traffic, and it seems, in our opinion, it makes sense to add a new parking designation, even though we try to stay away from those as much as we can, but it can be also used elsewhere where there are bus drop-off areas. So we are recommending the addition of a new parking designation called bus and authorized vehicle parking only. And then that would be on Lewis Street north side, and the limits are included just where their bump outs are. So that's the limits.
Thank you. So haven't they had buses drop off on their bus drop off?
They have. I mean, they can. It's right now, there's no parking restriction there, period. So a person can park in their bus drop-off area.
Just like a normal
Just
car,
like a
as long as they
normal
don't
car.
cross on the side,
Yeah.
cross the sidewalk.
Right, because, and we do have like drop-off and loading zone designations, but they're associated with schools. We included, I think I listed some of them in the packet here. Yeah, we have loading zone during school hours. So those are associated with schools and associated with bus and bus drop-off. This would be something where they could have a bus, the bus could stay there
Okay.
while the tour group is going through. So it isn't a loading zone, it's a bus use area.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
good.
that's why.
Okay. Alderperson Hanson.
And I assume, Eric, we're going to put up signage to that effect?
Correct.
Okay.
Once the municipal code is updated, we will put those signs up.
Yeah, because I did notice they had some cars parked there on weekends and stuff, so this will eliminate that part of it, right?
Yes.
It's just bus and or authorized vehicles, which I wouldn't think would be
Yes.
just patrons just parking there or whatever. Okay. All right, other questions or comments? All right, keep going, sorry.
All right, and then item 2, we have a recommendation to remove a deaf child sign on Nob Hill. If you recall, several years ago, we notified and contacted all the areas where there were deaf child signs because we were no longer putting them up. We had 2 people that responded to that original survey wanting their signs to remain up, and one of them was Nob Hill. We received notification from one of the residents earlier this year that that person had moved, so we sent out 14 notices to properties in that, around that sign, And 2 people did call Betty and let her know that the person has moved, so we are recommending removal of the sign.
Very good, thank you. Questions on that one, anybody? All right, next one.
All right, we have consider yield sign on Ballyvaughan Road at Garriman Drive. We currently have one up there temporarily because of some of the complaints with the traffic that was using Garriman because of the closure at Southbridge and Lawrence. So we put one up temporarily. But staff would like to consider leaving it there permanently. We feel like Garriman Drive, as development continues along the area, that Garriman Drive is always going to be a busier street because it's one of the few connections we have between the residential area on Lawrence Drive and the industrial area on American. So we are recommending that we leave the sign up permanently and update our ordinance accordingly. So it'd be a yield on Ballyvaughan.
Very good, good idea. Any questions on that one? All right.
Okay, the next one is a school zone, consider a school zone sign on Lourdes. We've gotten some complaints. The police have looked into it. We included the letter of recommendation. But basically, we have school zone signs on Suburban. Suburban is a collector. We do not have school zone signs on Lourdes Street. We are starting to get some complaints because there's a lot more usage of Lourdes Street with the school off of 9th. They've got the parking lot in back where people that work are parking, buses and everything. So there's been a request. Staff feels that it meets the condition of a school zone because it's a school, so we're recommending the addition of the school zone signs on Lourdes Street.
Very good, thank you. Questions on that one? Alderperson Carpenter.
That would entail then 15 mile an hour
When children are present,
yeah,
correct.
So this is just Lourdes and not, is that St. Mary's?
It's not St. Mary's. Because Lourdes, it would be this, yeah, you are correct.
Because a lot of people cut up on them.
On St. Mary's, they cut through?
Whatever street it is, the longer one, not the one that, yeah, it's St. Mary's.
Yeah.
The other one's St. Joe's. I had to think for a minute, yes.
Yeah, it would just be on Lourdes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve the parking and traffic recommendations.
I
got
still
one
have
more.
some more.
Oh, there was one more. I thought there was.
Sorry.
I thought we were done.
No.
Oh, good. That right there. I see it.
Yep, sorry, we have a few tonight. So this one is associated with the development we just talked about in the last award. We are recommending a modification to the signage at Williams in Wisconsin and Williams in Michigan. We would like to convert the signage. Right now, Wisconsin-Williams is a 3-way stop, and Williams in Michigan is a 1-way stop on Williams because it's a T intersection. So we are recommending that we convert and put stop signs on Wisconsin and none on Williams, and then stop signs on Michigan and none on Williams. So Williams acts as a through street. We feel like it'll get traffic off of Broadway because we're going to have a lot higher density of development in there. So we want to modify and kind of keep that east-west traffic so they can move in and get into the parking ramp and off of Broadway.
Very good. Thank you. Is that what the other streets are moving toward Green Bay? Isn't it the same kind of way?
Well, it all depends
kind of
on
flow.
Yeah, downtown Green Bay. I'm not.
No, not that. I mean going south. So as you go south away from William Street, still into Pier. I think those other streets do the same thing, where it's stop signs going.
Not all of them. Some have four.
Some are full.
Some
Kind
have
of a mix- kind of a
four,
mixed bag.
and a couple of them have I don't know if it's Franklin or one of them does give you a longer stretch that you can run.
Yeah, like Lewis out here, that's set up so it's east-west travel.
Right.
As you get
I thought
onto
Franklin was too, not huh? I thought that was.
one of Franklin or Fulton, one of them has quite a few stop signs if
Yeah,
you're
I
going
can't remember
east
which
and
one.
west. I just don't remember which
Okay.
one it is. But we felt like it would be real good to get the traffic in and out off of Broadway since we feel a lot of traffic will come in off of Broadway.
Sure. Alderperson Hanson.
I don't know which one is correct, but on Google, it actually says William Street.
You're correct.
I know. I go back.
My
and
memo
forth
is
on
wrong.
Every single. I lived on that street.
Although I corrected it in the ordinance. At least I got the ordinance part where I'm recommending it down below correct. And I got
Not quite,
italics.
because you have insert the following
Oh.
stops at Williams.
So I have traffic on William Street. and
Yep,
I
that's
made a
right.
mistake. Yeah, I'll fix it.
That's what they get for using AI to do all their stuff.
You know what's
William
really
Street.
bad?
'Cause
I
there's-
have not used AI, and I should probably to be more efficient. That's just my own error.
Because I read some things and the way I read it, I think AI doesn't put the right spelling in it.
Right. We don't have a Williams Street, do we?
In my defense, I'm an engineer. I do numbers, not letters.
It's just funny though, a lot of people do say William Street.
They do?
They just do. I don't know why.
Sounds like William Street because it runs into each other, so it almost sounds
Yeah.
like
It's the darndest. They don't say James's Street or they don't say Wisconsin Street, but William Street they do.
They do have certain words that always.
We have some educating.
I will fix that. Betty and I will
Will you fix that so
before.
people don't say it anymore too? Can you do that or?
We could have asked.
Yeah,
That's what it
I
sounds-
think I
that's what it
just
sounds
I
like.
just propagated an issue right now. I
Well, they can make the sign as big as they are, the entrance signs are gonna be, then they'll really understand.
Can I make the recommendation now, or can I make a
Yeah,
motion
you
now?
can.
I'll make a motion to approve all the recommendations from the Parking and Traffic Committee.
Second.
Motion by me, seconded by Alderperson Hanson. Any additional questions or comments? That said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8, discuss city engineer recommendations on no action parking and traffic discussion items.
All right, so the first item is we had to consider a parking restriction on Lost Dolphin Road associated with parking at St. Norbert events at the stadium. The street is 44 feet wide, which is very, very wide. It is considered a minor arterial. The ADT at that location is 6,300. Really, you know, we've talked in the past, it's wide enough for parking and then some. So we're comfortable with the parking. The parking is traffic calming. It only happens periodically, so we do not feel it's a safety issue and any action should be taken.
Thank you. Questions on that one, anybody? All right, we agree. Go ahead.
Okay, next we had a request to consider no parking on the north side of Park Street from 9th to the first driveway to the apartment, which is just a little bit to the east. Park Street is 30 feet wide, face of curb to face of curb. The parking width standard is 28 feet for parking on one side. We did restrict parking on the south side in 2017 because of the width and there weren't a lot of driveways. With the current restriction and parking already restricted on one side, it's 2 feet beyond what our minimum is. We don't see any issues with more parking restrictions. It's an area that people park, you know, they walk to the post office, they go different locations. We don't see it as an issue, and so we're not recommending any changes.
Thank you. Questions on that one, anybody? All right, go ahead.
All right, so we had a request to consider bike lanes on 3rd Street and 4th Street from 3rd and 4th, the intersection where it splits on the south, going up to Grant Street. Both 3rd and 4th are minor arterials. The 3,400 average daily traffic for 3rd at St. Norbert, and 3,600 at ADT for 4th at Lilac, and 4,700 up at Grant Street. We did kind of review it and talk about various items. One is the 2010 comp plan does talk about 3rd Street as being a future signed bike route without bike lanes. The plan does not show any biking facilities for 4th Street. We took a look with the widths that are out there. If we create bike lanes, we will have to remove parking in areas. In areas where there is not parking, many times the width is not enough for a designated bike lane. Our bike lanes that we have been installing, most of them have been emphasized in the higher volume and higher speed facilities such as Main Avenue, sections of Lawrence Drive. We've got 3rd Street from Reed to Main and the bridge. So at this point, we didn't feel like we needed to put bike lanes out there with the negative things that would occur with parking and everything else. We felt like, so I bike quite a bit and I felt, you know, for me personally, I wouldn't have any concerns biking on it without a bike lane. So that's the way we looked at it.
Thank you. Questions, comments? We'll call that the Eric test. Last one.
Last two, sorry.
Oh, last two.
We had a
4 and 5.
request for a considered dead end, no outlet sign on Twilight. The criteria, I'll talk faster, Mayor.
No, I apologize. I'm missing 5 for some reason. I don't know why that's happening.
The criteria for installing a no outlet is, and I accidentally left the criteria out. So it has to be over 600 feet, it can't have a dead end, and you can't see the end of it visibly from the intersection, the intersecting street. On this location, you can see the end, you can see it's a dead end. However, we did go out and perform a traffic count. The average traffic was 92 vehicles per day for a week. There were 10 driveways, which with an average of 9 vehicles per day per drive. Single-family residential trip generation is generally between 7 to 10. The requester was saying there's a lot of vehicles that think it's a dead end, drive down, turn around, and zip out. And I did talk about that we aren't seeing the number of traffic that people are doing that on a regular basis. You've got deliveries, you've got, food deliveries. So we didn't felt it needed to be a no outlet sign. So we're not recommending any changes. The average vehicle chip generation is right within what you'd expect for single family.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Alderperson Carpenter.
So when you did that traffic count, you'd run them cables across?
Yeah.
So some of the complaint would be they're zipping through. What was the average speed?
Good question, and I can go back and look and present that. I didn't look, sometimes when we get and I can get the output, but a lot of times we get the output, I look at different things. Sometimes I look at speed, sometimes we look at vehicles and the number of vehicles per day, but I can definitely get the speed.
The only reason I'm asking
That's
is
fair. That's fair.
How you presented it. It was
I
like,
should have.
what is the speed or not, and then
Yep.
and we still go with the same it is, but maybe have the.
Yeah, I forgot to check it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Everyone else good? Number 5.
And then the last one is Alstrom requested to put a directional sign on Main Avenue at 4th Street to direct semi-trucks to use 5th Street instead. We really don't want to have private signs for direction within the public right-of-way for directing trucks, so we're recommending no action.
Or they could just tell them themselves. I would think. Very good. Everyone okay with all this, with the no actions? All right, thanks, Eric. We don't need any action on that. Okay. I got to get back to the agenda here. Sorry, I apologize. Item 9, discuss alley capital improvement program.
Yes. So there was a question at one of the council meetings, perhaps. Yeah. And so there was a question about what is our capital improvement programs for alleys. So we rate all streets every 2 years. Included in that rating system is our alleys and our parking lots. What we have been doing is we wait until an alley deteriorates to a 3. Once it hits the 3 level, we'll take a look and we'll divide the alleys up into the next 2 years to complete them. And part of the reason we want to wait until they're a 3 is they are not the busiest of facilities. They don't get the most use. They're used just by the locals. Plus, we are currently reconstructing the alleys and trying to get better drainage where we can. We can't always do that. So that's how we've been doing it. You can see a list of the alleys we've been doing over the last several years. There was one year we postponed several alleys because the prices came in too big, too high, so we rebid them. There was one year several years ago where that worksheet got dropped from the capital improvements program, but we do have alleys included again in this year. So that is how we've been handling them, and we've been keeping up. I think in our next cycle we just completed our ratings this year for 2025, and we had 5 alleys, I believe, that fell to a 3. So we're going to do a couple next year, and we're going to slot another couple for 2027.
Very good. Thank you. Alderperson Hanson.
Yeah, I appreciate staff putting this together. I know there was a couple years there, 2020, 21, 2022, where we just did 2 during those 3 years. And like you said, I know that one year that came in too high. I do appreciate that we've kind of picked up the pace the last couple of years. And my question was going to be, I see in 26 and 27, we're scheduled to do 6 alleys. So you're saying that would cover all of the alleys that are currently rated a 3 in the Pazer? Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
It's a good program. It's good for people to know that that's how they're rated. It's not individuals or driven by, citizens saying, do this. There's actually a system in place, and that's just like the roads. That's a very, very important thing. Other questions or comments? Very good. Thank you. Up next, future agenda items. Does anyone have anything? Alderperson Carpenter.
So somebody brought this up. So at 3rd and 4th Street, where the stop sign is at that Y, when you're coming down 4th Street, somebody's wondering if that could be changed to a yield. Since Lost Dolphin is a 4-lane road.
Oh, so when you're going down
Going south.
south, when you're going down
Going south,
Yep.
whatever the answer you come back with is fine with me. I have my own thoughts because you have football when you have games on there, there's going to be traffic on that road. So I can kind of think the answer, but I'll bring it to you.
Isn't it already? No.
So that'll go to the next Parking and Traffic Committee meeting, which is going to be, I don't know, scheduled sometime in the future.
It is scheduled. I don't know the date. And that's why we had a few more items. There was one, we missed one meeting. We had a whole bunch of conflicts and we didn't have a lot of items, but the last one for this year is scheduled. I just don't recall when it is.
Very good.
It's
That'll be
all
sent
fine
there.
with me.
Thank you. Anything else anyone has?
Thank you.
Alderperson Hanson.
Yeah, so I talked to Scott on Friday about the sidewalk for the South Bridge connector, and it sounds like they are going to do asphalt, or the county's planning to do asphalt instead of concrete. Now, I don't know if we're paying 50% of that like we have with the other parts of the project, but if we are, I think it would be good to just have the board kind of weigh in on it. I think it probably does make sense to do the asphalt, but I would just like the board to discuss it if we are going to pay half the cost of it.
Very good. Scott, we can bring something back on that regarding the cost?
I'll put an item on there and you guys discuss it.
Then we'll just discuss it, yeah. And it'll be for all the segments, obviously, correct?
Yep, all the
Yep.
segments.
Very good, thank you. And we're not too late in the game on that, because one of the
I
segments.
think
moved
on
along.
GV 14,
is already-
you might.
That's pretty much all the
But
way.
we can do 15, 16, and 17.
That's what I'm saying. I think one segment was done, so.
Oh, okay.
Because that's all, yeah, that's going to be done pretty quick. That's the one that's the one we've had the closure at
Yep.
Lawrence and Southbridge for a while.
But he'll bring,
Okay.
absolutely, yep. Other future agenda items? All right, that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by me, seconded by Alderperson Carpenter. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We're officially adjourned. Thanks all.